Alright, without wasting your time, let's dive straight into it. It looks like we're getting another buff for NEL Isagi very soon, along with a slight nerf for Kaiser that's also expected in the future. Starting with NEL Isagi, the devs recently confirmed in the questions tab that they plan to revert his nerf. Right now, his dash was nerfed by 50%, but after the revert, it will only be slowed by 33%. On top of that, they mentioned a potential change to his lefty shoot. When you use lefty shoot against an opponent and they activate a dribble move, you currently can't catch them. After the change, it could lead to an ankle break instead. Honestly, I think this is an even better balance for NEL Isagi. I'll admit, I used to be a huge hater of NEL Isagi before his nerf. After the nerf, he became much weaker in terms of style, but he still had the powerful lefty shoot. Now, with a more balanced dash and lefty shoot, NEL Isagi will be in a much healthier state, and I'm actually excited for this upcoming update. About 2 to 3 weeks ago, there was also a poll asking if NEL Isagi should be nerfed, and almost everyone voted yes. That's why he got nerfed recently. But if you remember, in that same poll, another question popped up. Should Kaiser's steal ability be nerfed? Again, most players voted yes, saying it's annoying and needs a fix. Because of that, I'm pretty confident that Kaiser will get a nerf soon. Why not immediately? Well, right now, we're in the middle of the Easter event, and tons of players just spent money getting the new Kaiser skin. If the devs nerfed Kaiser right now, players would be pretty mad. Why didn't you nerf him before the skin came out? So, my guess is, once the hype around the Easter event and the new skin dies down, that's when they'll nerf Kaiser's steal ability. And let's be real. Currently, Kaiser is arguably the best style in the game. His shot can score from his own half of the field. His steal is one of the most broken abilities, especially against players who don't pass. And sadly, sometimes people even use his steal ability to intentionally throw games out of spite, like when someone annoys them in chat or during the match. In my opinion, Kaiser's steal needs either a shorter range or a longer cooldown to make it less frustrating. I'm not a balancing expert though, so feel free to drop your ideas in the comments. What do you think should be changed about Kaiser? I'm 99% sure he will get a nerf very soon. Before we move on, just a small reminder. If you enjoy my content, my updates, and the way I present news every day, please consider subscribing and liking the video. It really helps push my channel to a wider audience. And who knows, maybe one day even the devs will notice the channel and listen to not just me, but also your feedback too. I'm aiming for 10,000 subscribers before the end of May. And with your help, I believe we can make it happen. Thank you so much. Alright, let's get back to the topic. Let's talk about a few other important fixes and changes that didn't really make it into the main patch notes. First of all, the infamous Kaiser tackle bug is finally fixed. It should now be properly working across all servers. There was a bug where his tackle didn't work at all, but yesterday the devs officially announced that it has been fixed. Also, another huge bug fix, the Bachira infinite dribble bug has been patched too. This was the bug where, during ult, the monster would stand frozen in a T-pose, and abilities would completely break. It took over a month for them to fix it. And funny enough, they only fixed it after releasing NEL Bachira. Personally, I feel like they did this fix just for the sake of appearances. Because let's be real, who's going to play regular Bachira now, when there's a mythic NEL Bachira available? I mean, I understand. Regular Bachira is just an epic, while NEL Bachira is a mythic. And considering we're getting 20 to 25 lucky spins every week, I would honestly be shocked if you've been playing for 2 to 3 weeks and still don't have a mythic style yet. But if you do, definitely let me know in the comments. I would be genuinely surprised. Next up, some great news for Kaiser mains. A pretty huge buff was made to his awakening moves. Here's what the devs said yesterday. Adjustments have been made to Baneshus and Magnus. They should now be more consistent and have a larger impact on the match. Before, his Magnus shot was way too inconsistent. For example, sometimes if you aimed low, the ball would fly up high for no reason, and if you aimed high, it would be weak. But now, Magnus Impact should have consistent power no matter where you aim. Same for Baneshus. It's now buffed and should feel much better during matches. If you're a Kaiser user, let me know. Did you feel the buff already? I'm very curious about your experience. Now, moving on to future styles and potential reworks. As you remember, in the poll where devs asked which new style people wanted most, NEL Bachira won with 90,000 votes. In second place was NEL Nagi with around 40,000 votes. However, lately in the official Discord, people have been going crazy asking for a rework of Rin. So based on the current hype, I personally think that the next major update will very likely be a rework for Rin. Now, this isn't official, and it's just my guess, but it makes perfect sense. The devs can see how much hype the Rin rework is generating. They know if they stay silent about it and keep building up the hype, the release will cause a huge explosion of excitement. So, if you don't already have Rin, I suggest you start preparing. Get your spins ready, maybe even unlock an extra slot for him. Because when the rework drops, it's going to be big. Also, before we finish, I want to remind you about something I mentioned in the previous video. Just 2 days ago, one of the developers posted a very mysterious message. One single word, Loki, and then deleted it just a few minutes later. Since then, the entire community has been going crazy wondering, could this be a hint that Loki might actually be added to the game soon? I told you before, if they ever decide to introduce one of the masterclass players into the game, it would most likely be Loki. Why Loki? Because out of all the masterclass players, he is one of the youngest. Maybe even the youngest. And personally, I think players like current KAISER or NEL Isagi could still somewhat compete with Loki. I'm not saying they would be equal, of course, but they could at least put up some kind of resistance. And who knows? Maybe they'll even introduce a brand new masterclass rarity just for him, with an insanely low pull rate like 0.05%. That's just my imagination, of course. It's very unlikely because something like that would seriously break the balance of the game. Think about it. If Chigiri, in the right hands, already dominates the field with insane speed, imagine what Loki would be capable of. He would probably be like pre-nerf Isagi's dash, but twice as fast, and covering even more distance in just a few seconds. And don't even get me started on his awakening moves. They would most likely guarantee goals with shot speed so fast it would feel like a bullet. Okay, I'm exaggerating a little, but still you get the idea. In short, I really believe that if Loki ever gets added, he would be an absolutely broken character unless the devs are extremely careful with his balance. But what do you think? Do you believe they'll actually add Loki soon? If you have any theories or ideas about how he could work in the game, feel free to share them in the comments. I'll be reading all of them. And that's about it for today. Those are all the latest fresh news and updates that I could gather. Hopefully, in just a few days, we'll see some sneak peeks about the Rin rework. And who knows, maybe even Loki will be added too. As always, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about the KAISER buffs? What's your opinion on the upcoming NEL Isagi unnerf? And once again, if you watched the video till the end, why not leave a like and subscribe? It really helps with the algorithm and pushes the video out to even more people. Thank you so much for all your support. I'm very excited to continue this journey together with you. See you all in the next video.